Hey guys, it's Andy Daley again from Daley Beat. Hey, I just wanted to kind of go over a few things. I know this video is taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to, partially because I did a couple of other videos and I just didn't like them. Not because of the cinematic part or even what I was teaching, it was boring. So I will hit on those topics later, but I will try to figure out a way to make it a tad bit more entertaining so we aren't all bored, because trust me, I got bored watching it. But because of some of the things that were happening last week, I happened to get in contact with a couple of people and some things came out that I thought would be a great topic. One of them was trusting in yourself and trusting in others. One of the things that I took a look at, and one of the reasons why the videos became so different for me or so difficult for me, was what I was doing. Putting in contacts, putting in hair gel, shaving a lot, and putting up button-up shirts. This is not really who I am. So, on a political side of it, I would tell you, oh yes, that's what I need to look like. I need to look great. Politics is perception. Which I'll make another video about that later on. But at the same time, you have to be who you are. So that's trusting in you. But this isn't about just trusting in you. I work inside of the ministry world as well as the music world. More on the ministry side of it right now, just due to the fact that I have been in that side of it for the last 9 years. Before that, I was in a lot of bars and some other scenes. But let's just go with all musicians, and we're going to say musicians to sound guys, musicians to musicians, and those types of things. As some of you may or may not know, I am a musician. I play drums, I play guitar, although not great. I still play them as a rhythm guitarist. I play drums a little bit better, and I'm a sound guy. I am a sound professional who does things at both a lower level as well as a higher level. One of the common themes that I see at every level, but a little bit more at the lower levels than I do see at the higher levels, is trust. Whether it be trusting from musician to musician or musician to sound person. This is a huge, huge thing. A lot of people really don't understand how detrimental it is when you don't trust one another. You can't do your job if you're worried about somebody else's. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a worship leader. It doesn't matter if you're a drummer. It doesn't matter if you're a guitarist. It doesn't matter if you're another singer. It does not matter. If you're not trusting in the person behind the board or in one another, then you are not putting out your best content and your best foot forward. And I mean that with all the sincerity that I can give. The reason why that is because when you actually trust in one another, you become a cohesive unit. You actually work as one unit. And a lot of people actually differentiate the band away from the sound person or from another band member. Well, we're singers, they're guitarists, they're bass players, they're drummers, they're keyboardists, they're whatever. It does not matter. When you guys are working together, you're working as one. Not as different groups, but as one group. You guys are putting out something as one unit. It doesn't matter if you do a great job and the drummer screws up. They're going to notice it all the way around. They're lumping you all together. And if you don't trust the drummer, he's probably going to mess up a little bit more. Or if you criticize him, or you criticize him in public, or you criticize them in public, it doesn't matter. If you criticize a sound person in public, or if you don't trust what the sound person is doing. Listen, here's the funny thing about sound people, especially for musicians. It is always our fault. I hate to put it that way. Even when it's not our fault, people love to blame us. And it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it does get frustrating every once in a while. If you guys screw up a chord, trust me, people look back at us and go, why'd you mess up? It's one of those things. But that's neither here nor there. You have to trust in the person that you are putting on the board. If you don't trust the person that you put on the board, that's a whole other issue. Maybe you have to take a look at that sound person. Maybe you have to take a look at yourself. It does not matter either way. I would tell you that you have to trust them. On that same note, I'm going to actually address the sound person out there. It does not matter that you're just behind a soundboard. You're just as important as the musicians, okay? I would actually venture to bet that that is your instrument. You're another musician. You have faders, you have to actually give levels, you have to have gain structure, you have to have EQs, and you have to do that all decisively and at once to make it cohesive and actually work and flow together. Because those are the things that you are meant to be doing. How does that happen? One of them, practice, okay? 1 day a week doesn't constitute as practice. I'm sorry to tell you. Listening to music, understanding how music works, understanding how music flows is how you're going to become a better sound person. All right? Listening is huge. I don't care who you are, whether you're a musician or whether you're a sound person, listening is massive. In order for you to mix something correctly, you have to have a general concept of what it is that you're trying to achieve. To that end, you need to understand or know either the music, who the speaker is, how they actually interject and all the rest of that stuff. Means that you have to study a little bit. If you study just a little bit, I'm going to guarantee you that you're bound to become a better sound person and an engineer and understand how each one of the microphones works with another microphone. I don't mic an AC30 the same way that I mic my Fender Champ back there. It's just not the same amp, nor does it sound the same, nor do I actually want the same frequencies. And I have to understand that. I've practiced it. I've worked with it. I've moved around. I've done all these other things. And you have to as well. What you hear on stage isn't even close to what's coming out of the front of house. Not even remotely close. It was one of the most frustrating things to do when I was a drummer, was I'd be sitting behind the drum set and getting the drum set sounding exactly the way that I wanted it to hear. And then all of a sudden I'd hear it through a monitor, whether it was a monitor on the floor, monitors in my ears, or wherever the monitor was coming from, and going, wow, it doesn't sound like what I hear up here, so therefore you must be doing it wrong. And then criticizing somebody for it. That's uncool. And I am very much, I have done that a lot in my past. I don't do it often any longer. Do I still do it? I've been caught doing it once or twice. So I still make that mistake. I still have to consciously think about it. Listen, I'm not hearing what's happening in the front of the house. I'm not hearing out there. I need to concentrate on my job. Because guess what? If I'm sitting back there and I'm playing the drums and I go, wow, I can't believe he's just messing up. I don't know, or she's messing up. I don't understand how any of this stuff works. And they just don't understand where I'm coming from and all the rest of it. I'm not listening to my fellow musicians. Okay? So I won't be tight. There's nothing that's going to allow me to be tight. I may be good enough to actually pull it off a little bit, but still, those are not things that I am meant to be doing. I am meant to be playing my instrument, listening to the musicians on stage, and allowing that other musician in the back the ability to do their job. You have to trust one another. And I can't say that enough. Unfortunately, I have seen this over and over and over again in the last 9 years. And I can't I can't even begin to tell you how frustrated I get when I have to go through this. Because you would think that in that world, that small, tight-knit community, that these guys and girls would trust one another. But a lot of times they don't. A band is one entity. It is not one individual. I mean, if you are a singer-songwriter and a soloist and all the rest of the stuff, that's different. But if you are part of a band and you are working together as one unit, guess what? You're being judged as one unit. And that's all I can really say about that. Hopefully this isn't too bad of a tirade or anything else like that. But if you do like this comment, or if you love what I'm actually putting out here, there's going to be some other stuff that's a little bit lighter. I actually have sound panels, if you haven't seen behind me. Those will be going up here pretty soon, and I'll actually be giving a video on the sound panels that are that I got in and those types of things, as well as a change in my whole studio and the things that come along with that. If you love this stuff, if you're actually really kind of digging what's going on, please subscribe, hit like, hit the bell icon, so therefore I can, I can notify you when I'm actually getting ready to release a new video. I thank you guys again for showing up, and hopefully this helps. Have a great day.